All right, so let's get into the facts here. So the comedian's been accused of this over a 7-year period. And here is where I think it's most sus. So the biggest thing to me that jumps right out on this and right on this story is he's being accused of this during a period at the height of his fame. So in a lot of the articles talk about how he was a known playboy, a known Lothario, this and that. To me, just off rip, when I think about Russell Brand, and here's the thing, let me point out this as well. I actually don't like Russell Brand. And I want to say this. I don't like him not for anything he said. I don't like Russell Brand because there's something about him that just I find annoying. It's like the guy with the weird voice to you, with a weird personality. I don't like the guy. But just because I don't personally like the guy does not mean that he's entitled to any less due process or any less presumption of innocence, or that you can't point out the exact same facts. Just because it's not my cup of tea, his humor has never been my cup of tea. Yeah, I'm jealous of his hair. I love it. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Just because I don't like somebody doesn't mean that I treat them differently or they get a different standard of justice. No, he gets the exact same standard of justice that everybody else does. But to me, the fact that really is exculpatory for him is that at a certain point, the guy was popular. I knew, look, I can't understand for the life of me why people like other people. You know, people can like comedians, people can like actors, girls can think a guy's hot for whatever reason, right? And that's fine, right? But I knew when Russell Brand was peaking in popularity, when he was in a bunch of movies like Get Him to the Greek, right? Somebody Forgetting Sarah Marshall, there were a lot of women that wanted to fuck Russell Brand. Let's be very clear. And you guys know this is legal mindset. I'm very crass, but it's straight up. But let's just be real. There were a lot of women that wanted to sleep with Russell Brand. If Russell Brand wanted to have sex, he could go with anybody he wanted pretty much. So to me, a very suspect fact, if we're looking at facts that don't make any sense, it is that somebody at the height of their fame would need to be coercing anybody to do that. There were plenty of women to do that. And also the people who he's married, including Katy Perry, right? He can get high class, high tier girls. Why does he need to go there? You know? So let's read through. 4 women were alleging sexual assaults between 2006 and 2013. So, okay, full stop. We're talking about somewhere between over 17 years here and 10 years. So at minimum, these accusations are over 10 years old. Why did you wait 10 full years? Timing here is extraordinarily suspect to wait 10 full years to come through. Brand has said the allegations were always consensual. During the years covered by the allegations, Brand has had various high-profile jobs, including BBC Radio 2 and Channel 4. So here's the other thing, is that he wasn't unknown. So they could have accused him when he was doing Forget the Greek, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, when he was at BBC Radio 2, Channel 4. So all of these high-profile times were times in which you could have come after him. So they claim he had controlling, abusive, predatory behavior. Within hours of the allegations being published, Brand performed a scheduled comedy gig at a 2,000 capacity Wembley Park. During the set, which lasted for an hour, Brand alluded to the accusations but did not address them directly. He told the audience there were things he wanted to talk about but could not. Yes, for legal reasons, he has to be very careful about what he says. So the problem is, once you're accused, you've got to walk carefully because your statement can be used against you. Now, he has made a public statement, which we're going to look at in a second, but let's get to the 4 women, okay? So this is going to be interesting. So, and a lot of these happen in the US and LA. So these are the women that came forward. So woman number 1 says that Brand raped her against a wall in his LA home. She claims, and this is what the article, it should say, she claims she was treated at a crisis center on the same day. The Times says it has medical records to support this. Well, they're going to need to produce these, right? Now, if they produce these, if there's conclusive proof here, that's pretty damning for Brand. But they're going to need to see some records. At this point, this is just an allegation. Next, you have a second woman who alleges that he assaulted her when he was in his early 30s, and she was 16 and still at school. She alleges he referred to her as the child during an emotionally abusive and controlling relationship. Now, this is the most damning one, because the problem here is when you start getting in someone that especially with the underage, you get into people who say if you defend him, you're defending a P word, right? That you're defending that. First of all, once again, still an allegation. They've got to prove that. And this one appears to be just her word saying that versus his word saying that. So we've got to show there was an actual relationship there and then it was a sexual relationship. Yeah. But this is clearly, by the way, the underage charge is the number one problematic one. And this one right here is the one that's going to cause all the controversy because people aren't going to want to touch this. They're going to be very afraid to talk about it. But of course, we have to talk about it from a due process standpoint because these accusations are serious. You can't just make an accusation. Also, people bring up the age of consent is different. I understand. Okay, guys. So I get it. I'm abroad. I understand there's ages of consent that vary, right? So, and that being said, so people say, hey, look, it's legal. But that being said, it's the appearance. Okay. So the appearance is going to be the problem here. By the way, shout out to Integrity Legal Thailand, my good friend Ben, who's up early in the morning somehow, even though I sometimes think I wake up earlier than him. He says, do you ever sleep? No, I do not. I will be over there very shortly, Ben. So I'll see you shortly, homie. We're going to be talking about The Jackal on Bangkok Bros. If you guys want to stop by and talk about a really good, actually amazing movie, we'll be talking about The Jackal with Richard Gere and Bruce Willis. All right. So there's got a third woman who claims that Brand sexually assaulted her while she worked with him in LA, and he threatened to take legal action if she told anybody else about her allegation. Well, first of all, in California, you have to understand the protections for this are pretty substantial. So if you accuse somebody, you're pretty well protected under the laws in California, particularly Marcy's law. We actually saw this with the Masterson's trial, with the Danny Masterson trial. And in fact, applying those laws to the Brand case is going to be very interesting because we saw that in the Masterson case, and look, regardless of what you think about the Masterson case, my issue is with the standard of evidence, because what they're allowing in California is they allow victims that have not proven their claim to testify. Let me say this once again. Even a victim, alleged victim, right? Alleged victim. Let's say there's 4 alleged victims. And let's say the jury says that only one of those they think is true out of the 4. Let's say they think, okay, only the third one out of this 4 is true. Well, they allow number 1, number 2, and number 4, in addition to number 3, to testify. So they will allow alleged victims that have not proven their claims to testify during sentencing. It's extremely ridiculous. By the way, someone asked what the timeline was. Once again, we already explained that, but the timeline was 2006 to 2013. So this is number 1 at the peak of his career, and also 10 years ago, right? Maximura said, number 1 allegation, either underage or not. Yeah, and like people saying, in England, it is not, right? So if all of that went down in England, then it wouldn't be. A third woman claims that he sexually assaulted her in LA. And then the last one, the fourth woman, alleged being sexually assaulted by Brandt and physically, emotionally abused towards her. So this one seems like the thinnest accusation. So someone who just jumped on. Now, one thing that was brought up is that many of these people only came forward with their claims when they were approached by reporters. Very weird that only when reporters back them up is when they come out with these claims. So let's hear it from Russell Brand, his actual response here. This is him on X, right? So this is him actually going out here and talking about this. These accusations. So let's listen to his like 2-minute response here. We'll listen to him play this out.
Hello there, you awakening wonders. Now, this isn't the usual type of video we make on this channel where we critique, attack, and undermine the news in all its corruption, because in this story, I am the news. I've received 2 extremely disturbing letters, or a letter and an email, one from a mainstream media TV company,
let him
one from
this.
a newspaper, listing a litany of extremely egregious and aggressive attacks, as well as some pretty stupid stuff like my community festival should be stopped, that I shouldn't be able to attack mainstream media narratives on this channel. But amidst this litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks.
And by the way, I will say this about Russell Brand, like he's one of those people to me, and I haven't watched him. I'm not a huge, like, I watch Russell Brand every 2 days. But that being said, I know that there's been some issues that Russell Brand has been waking up on, and he's been going a little bit harder on mainstream media, going a little bit harder against the narrative. So obviously when people start to do that, right, that is something where they will come after you with accusations. They will come after you with dirt, right, at a specific period of time. Why do it when, hey, you know, he was that, you know, kind of free-loving liberal guy before, but now he's starting to go away from the narrative, and you're going to hit him with it right now? That timing is very suspicious to me. When people start getting red-pilled, right? It's very, 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 very suspicious. That specific timing. Why is it when a guy is finally like attacking stuff, questioning stuff, they go after him? Once again, don't agree with him on everything, and I've had there's a lot of things that I disagree with him on. Particularly involving, you know, I think we have a lot of gender issues that we would disagree on, you know, a lot of issues where I would say, okay, you're kind of taking an issue because you have daughters and you want a certain position. There's things we disagree with, positions that I disagree with on Russell Brand, but I see a guy who's waking up, and that is a good thing. I just want to say that. That's definitely a good thing.
Are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute. These allegations pertain to the time when I was working in the mainstream, when I was in the newspapers all the time, when I was in the movies. And as I've written about extensively in my books, I was very, very promiscuous. Now, during that time of promiscuity, the relationships I had were absolutely always consensual. I was always transparent about that then, almost too transparent. And I'm being transparent about it now as well. And to see that transparency metastasized into something criminal that I absolutely deny makes me question, is there another agenda at play? Particularly when we've seen coordinated media attacks before.
Yeah, and people say he's hand talking. The guy hand talks a lot in general, right? And I do it too. But Russell Brand definitely has me beat on the hand talking, like way great. And also he keeps them forward like claws. You know, I don't do that. But yeah, obviously very serious allegations and extremely serious allegations at a time like this. Real quick, do want to say thank you, Leprechaun Gold, for the $10 super sticker. Appreciate all your support of the channel. Thank you so much, and appreciate and love all of my supporters and members. Let's continue.
Before, like with Joe Rogan, when he dared to take a medicine that the mainstream media didn't approve of. There was a spate of headlines from media outlets across the world using the same language. I'm aware that you guys have been saying in the comments for a while, watch out, Russell, they're coming for you, you're getting too close to the truth. Russell Brand did not kill himself. I know that a year ago there was a spate of articles, Russell Brand's a conspiracy theorist, Russell Brand's right wing. I'm aware of news media making phone calls, sending letters to people I know for ages and ages. It's been clear to me, or at least it feels to me, like there's a serious and concerted agenda to control these kind of spaces and these kind of voices. And I mean my voice along with your voice. I don't mind them using my books and my stand-up to talk about my promiscuous consensual conduct in the past. What I seriously refute are these very, very serious criminal allegations. Also, it's worth mentioning that there are witnesses whose evidence directly contradicts the narratives that these two mainstream media outlets are trying to construct, apparently in what seems to me to be a coordinated attack. Now, I don't want to get into this any further because of the serious nature of the allegations,
legal,
but
right?
I feel like I'm being attacked, and plainly they are working very closely together. We are obviously going to look into this matter because it's very, very serious. In the meantime, I want you to stay close, stay awake, but more important than any of that, if you can, please stay free.
Okay, so that's his message. That's the one that the media was talking about. Just want to make sure you guys saw that, saw the actual message. So he claims, the most important thing he claims there for me from a legal standpoint is he claims to have exculpatory evidence. So there's these allegations, right, which are very serious, right? But he claims to have exculpatory evidence. That's a very big one. And then this fact over here, which we can kind of show again, which is the Sunday Times said all women felt ready to speak only after being approached by reporters. The newspaper said several felt compelled to do so, given Brand's newfound prominence as an online wellness influencer. So they felt the need to do it because of his new brand, not because of the old brand, because of the new brand. This strikes me as I'm doing this now because of some of the things he's saying recently, okay? Because of what he's doing now versus what he was doing before. They didn't have a problem before, but now they have a problem with it. Right? And they say most of the women have chosen to remain anonymous, right? Now, here's the thing. You're going to have to file a police report. But at this point, the Metropolitan Police said it was aware of media reporting of a series of allegations, but has not received any reports. So there has been no police report, right? This is the key here. We've got no police report. So are these women willing to file police reports either in the UK or the US, right? Because the two places to file this would be London or Los Angeles to file a case. So you've got to go there. And especially, by the way, the woman who is 16, very serious allegation. Now, of course, if that's in London, that would be legal. If that's in LA, that would be very illegal. But these allegations are definitely damning. I mean, saying, okay, you engaged in the behaviors of a groomer, but I didn't know what that was or looked like. Like, those are very serious career-ending allegations. So you've got to take those seriously. And to me, you've got to investigate that fully, right? You've got to investigate it, and it's got to be investigated by the police. And if it's false, it's got to be investigated to the point where they figure out why was there a lie in a Juicy Smollett way. This video has been a clip of a previous live stream, and it's clipped so you can get the information in a shorter, compact package, the information you need. If you want the full video, the whole context, the whole thing, you can check out the full stream that is in the link below. Check that out, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.